What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to give you guys a very quick update on Tesla SPY and a couple of other tickers and break down what's happening for next week as we have important data coming out, not to mention more information involving the markets. But before I break the devil's information, before I break down why next week is going to be pretty big for the markets and Tesla, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moon deposit $100, you're guaranteed 7 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon in just about 2.5 weeks. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. Tesla's looking relatively weak right now compared to SPY. SPY closed somewhat in the greens, kind of dipping in the after hours. Tesla came all the way down to the 167 area, continuing to fall today. My video from yesterday, I mentioned that Tesla's looking a bit more bearish. Could see a little rebound first before it continues to fall. And we did rebound to about 175 during the pre-markets before we continued to fall. So almost exactly as predicted, we did get this dip on Tesla, and it's still looking relatively weak. But we're approaching some tight resistance, which is now going to become support. We're going to be looking at this 166 to 167 area. We'll have to see if the buyers defend us here. So we closed basically at support. We'll see if we get a bounce or not. But overall, Tesla's technicals still look a bit more bearish. So not looking that great, at least for now. So we will see if we get some kind of like rebound, depending on the news and such. And we'll have to be very, very open-minded for what's about to come because we did get a lot of news. So I'll be talking about all of this real quick before I break down the technicals for Tesla SPY and the others. As a reminder, the market ended up pushing in the morning as we predicted, hitting our targets. I did call out 521.5 on SPY and higher levels like that. But then I mentioned to you all that we have tight resistance and we have to watch to see if we get a rejection. And as soon as the data came out today, we had the Michigan 5-year inflationary expectations at 3.1%, somewhat above expectations. Then we had the inflationary expectations for May at 3.5%. That is above expectations. That's part of why the market kind of dipped a bit. That's why the market reacted the way it did. And then going into next week, with the market kind of selling off a little bit today after we got a nice push in the morning, we're still kind of stuck at some very, very tight levels. But for next week, on Monday, we have Jefferson and Mester giving some speeches from the Fed. And then we're Tuesday. We have PPI data coming out, not to mention Jerome Powell giving a speech at 10 o'clock a.m. So we will see what Jerome Powell ends up saying, how things end up going from here. And then finally, we also have Wednesday. We have the CPI report coming out, and we'll have to see what happens with this. So that's also going to be very, very important. So we will see how things end up continuing. We will see what kind of developments happen here. But just know we have some big catalysts, such as CPI and Jerome Powell giving speeches, which could cause some volatility. Now, for other developments in the markets, please remember that on Monday, we have Legend, not to mention a few more earnings coming out. For Tuesday, we have Alibaba and the Home Depot alongside Sony. You can see them right over here. This is very important for retail, and it's going to give us a good idea of how consumer sentiment is looking. For Wednesday, we have Monday.com, Dole, and then a few others. Not to mention Thursday when we have Walmart and a few others like John Deere and more retail. So lots of retail this week, or I'm sorry, next week, and nothing too crazy overall, just very, very minor data. For the Fear and Greed Index, right now this is at neutral. We're back to neutral, so we will see if this continues or not. There is bullish momentum building up as greed is still making, once again, the majority of sentiment. We also have, let me just see right here, our puts and call option positioning is at neutral. We'll see if this shifts as we're at 0.8. Market volatility is currently neutral as well. We are dipping a bit towards the 12 area. So we'll see if we get a bounce on the VIX or not. But as of right now, once again, we're at some critical support. And the VIX is going to likely bounce in the future. So we'll have to wait for that. Some news about Tesla. I did mention to everyone that Tesla's planning on investing over $500 million into their supercharger network, continuing to help it grow. And then on top of all of this, we also have lots of climate protesters who tried to break into the Tesla German Gigafactory today. There were hundreds, if not close to over 1,000 of them just coming together. They did try to get into the factory. They were just continuing to protest. I've said this many times, guys. I am an advocate for peaceful protesting only. I don't really support violence or anything like that. And I really hope that as many people as possible do not get injured, as many people as possible remain safe. So a lot of people got arrested. This was pretty crazy, and there are a lot of things going on. So they are against Tesla expanding its gigafactory in Germany because they believe it's going to have a negative effect on the water supply and also the overall environment. So that is their view. We'll see how things kind of continue from here, and we'll see what else happens moving forward. But that's something worth noting. As far as Tesla goes, we had about 72 million in volume, a little bit below average. Short volume is actually going up as we're seeing more shorts piling in. We also have Cantor Fitzgerald just announcing another overweight rating for Tesla. I also want to add that the price-price ratio is dipping a little bit as we have more sellers stepping in. And although Mondays tend to be a good day, the overall trend on Tesla is looking a bit more bearish for now. So what do I see for the charts? I'm going to be very quick with this part, guys. Maybe just spend a few minutes going over just a couple tickers. The reason for that is because it's Friday. I know a lot of people just want to get on with their day, get on with the weekend. So I'll be kind of quick. Right now, Tesla's rejecting off our yellow trend line of resistance, and we have a downtrend that's being established as we're making lower highs and lower lows. Tesla is dipping to this support, so we'll have to see if we lose this 167 area. If we lose this range of support, we could easily fall to 165 and 162. Our resistance happens to be at 170, and overall the trend is looking more bearish. Tesla's still seeing quite a bit of selling, and it's happening amidst lots of bad news, from layoffs to prosecutors still continuing to just ask for more information from Tesla and other things like that. So that's something very important that's going on. For other news involving the markets, when it comes to SPY, uh, although Tesla's looking a bit more bearish and has a risk of downside, SPY is also in a very, very critical place. SPY got this nice push to this 521 area and also at 522.6, so a little bit below 523. So SPY overall is in a very, very critical place. We're at resistance. We're kind of rejecting a bit, so we have 520 as support. Our resistance happens to be 521.5, and if we lose 520, we're going to be looking for a dip all the way down towards 518. SPY is looking like it might reject here, but we haven't really lost 520 yet in the after hours, so we just have to wait and see. So don't forget that we have Jerome Powell giving a speech next week and CPI coming out that's going to cause some high volatility. So we'll see what happens and how this ends up affecting us. But that's something else I just wanted to note. For Nvda, we're also looking a little bit weaker. We have basically resistance at 900 and we have support currently at 892. If we lose 892, we're going to be dipping all the way down towards 885 or lower. So we'll just have to wait and see how things go. But overall, still looking a little bit weaker. The QQQ is also kind of weak. We have resistance at 442. We have support at 441. And we'll see if we get some kind of rejection. If we lose 441, look for a dip all the way down to 439 and 437. There is a risk of this dipping down. And we have this kind of like bearish looking shift right now with a bearish divergence that developed. So the odds do favor this dipping a bit. But just to be safe, let's wait and see what happens with CPI. Just watch for confirmation just to be safe. And just know that that's what the trend is kind of showing us. For Apple is trading sideways in this range. We have resistance at 183.5, support at 181, and we've been going back and forth, so we'll see what happens. There is a risk of this dipping a little bit towards the lower 180s, and we'll see what happens after that. For a few more things, right now, Amazn is at 187. If we lose this, we're going to be dipping all the way down towards 185, and we have resistance all the way up here towards 187.5, not to mention 190. Amazn could be turning right here if you look at the 4-hour time frame, so there's a risk of this dipping a little bit. If we lose 187, look for a dip all the way down to 185. I'll be watching for that on Amazn. Meta is kind of flat right now, but watch resistance at 478. If it breaks that, watch 480. If you reject here, watch 472 as support. We've been stuck here for about 2 days. If we lose 472, we're going to be dipping all the way down towards 468 or lower. So we'll have to watch and see how things go and be very, very open-minded nonetheless. And then for the VIX, we're on a very, very big downtrend. We're continuing to sink right now. It's very, very interesting to see this happening. But the VIX is approaching key support at 12.5. Now, the VIX loves to bounce off 12.5, and that tends to cause some downsides. So I'll make another video about this to give you guys a warning and a reminder about what could come to the markets. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm going to be talking more about this tomorrow. Just note the VIX is in a critical place where it loves to bounce. So we'll see what that causes. Coinbase is barely at 200. We'll have to see if it holds this support. If we lose 200, we're going to be dipping all the way down towards 193. If we bounce off this, look for a retest of about 210. So give it some time and see how it goes, but we are looking a bit more bearish in my opinion. Anyways, guys, that is it for the video. So I just want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have an absolutely incredible rest of the day. Know that the charts are still looking a little bit more bearish for some tickers out there, such as like Tesla, and we're going to be open-minded nonetheless. All right, so thank you for listening. Have a great day. I hope you guys really enjoy the rest of Friday. I'll be back tomorrow with another quick update video. I'll be talking a lot more about what's going on with the market. So I'll be talking more about that later on tomorrow, about the VIX and everything. So I want to give you guys a very important warning. I think it's super pivotal for me to make the video I'm going to make tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that for tomorrow. And with that being said, thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow, and peace out.